Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Subscribe, comment, and like without smashing anything, and let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Pisces. Pisces, we've already gotten some jumpers on the overlying and underlying energy for you out of the Akashic deck and the Universal Law deck. Some interesting stuff has come out already, so we're going to get the energy cards out, and then we'll talk about what else we have on the table right now. This is kind of more like a single person reading. I don't see like a couple or a relationship on the table just yet. I see the law of oneness as your overall energy. So it's a good possibility that even if there is someone or isn't someone involved in your life, this reading is just about you. As soon as we get the rest of the energy cards to come out, I'll show you what came out for the Akashic and the Universal Law deck here. So far from the Energy Oracle, we have Goddess and the Moon. Might just be our intuition. I don't know if there's anything hidden necessarily. See if anything else lets us know. Okay. That was like clumsy. Those made it on the table. We'll keep those. All right. I would kind of like one more. Okay. So carrying connections is on the table. Huh. Okay. That reading just took a little bit of a turn. Hasn't been happening. Kind of welcome here. Let's see. All right, we'll look at these. I don't even know if I want to know what that is yet. We'll go back to that. All right. So for the overlying energy for you, Pisces, from the Akashic Tarot is the Light of the World card. Now, I got a couple messages from this card. One of them was Lightworker, okay? So also, this card is kind of talking about like, well, between these two cards, between this card from the Akashic deck and this card from the Universal Law deck, which is the Law of Oneness, it says release the need to make anyone wrong and unify with your truth. The unify with your truth part of that card stood out more than, making sure people aren't wrong. These two cards together were kind of telling me that you need to go inward, that this card is kind of saying that you might have been like, you might know that you want to move in a certain direction. Let's call it a spiritual awakening right now. And let's say that you really haven't done it. There's a couple things you want to know about. Maybe you want to know what a light worker is, but you haven't looked into it, kind of thing. These two cards together are saying that now is time to get started. So now is a time to get started. And then this one is saying to kind of go within. As you're coming to oneness, you're supposed to also be like connecting with your higher self or connecting with yourself, right? And I got a couple other messages with that, which is kind of like once you connect to yourself, then you can it's easier for you to kind of see how when you look at other people, like almost like the law of oneness, like how we all are one. So a lot of times when we're doing stuff and we feel like we need to be forgiven, when we put ourselves in this state that I'm talking about now, it's easier to see how, like in a lot of other situations, other people need to be forgiven. But more importantly, this like light worker energy, and then this kind of like going towards the light energy. Basically, there is a connotation of ascending, of wanting to become better. And then, like I said, like the actual, it talks about like meditation and going inward to connect with yourself, to connect with like the wisdom that's already there. But it was talking about doing it consistently. And it was talking about how the more you do this, then the more you'll get to the place that you want to be, in the state of mind that you want to be in, to do what needs to come next, which leads us to our underlying energy. So for the Akashic, we got two cards. We have the Scribe. So this card talks to me about like teacher student. Like this card says that it's time to like get to work to either do the thing you want to do or look into the thing that you want to do. And this card is talking about like the act of looking into to what you want to do, or possibly like a teacher showing up to help you with that, or even a school showing up to help you with that. And then again, it talks about your intuition of choosing the right school or the right person to help you look into whatever it is you want to look into. But then on top of that, it also talks about you like taking what you know and also being a teacher of others. So either with what you already have, with what you already know, because even though this person is encouraged to go back to school, I feel like they already have a bunch of stuff under their belt. So they're either, you know, can open themselves up to teach on that, or be the teacher of that, or they could be looking into new stuff that they want to do, and then after that being a teacher of that. And this card is talking about all that, or you know, that person could even open up the school kind of thing. And then this card is the Three of Roses. This is loving elementals. This card talks about, like, you know, just in general, like taking a break, having more joy, like doing fun things in your life, which is always kind of like when you start to see things are a little funky in your life, you have to always kind of consider, have I been doing fun stuff? Have I been looking, you know, has it all just been work? This card does particularly talk about, like, although your life is busy, it's time to look into the things you wanted to do, or do the things you wanted to do. So it's acknowledging the fact that you've been distracted by other things, and it's taking you away from the things that you want to do. And this one is telling you to have fun, have joy, you know, be aware of the part of you that is enjoying life, kind of thing. This should be always, but definitely in difficult situations, or situations where you're challenged and changing at the same time, it's always helpful to be reminded of the joy of things, or why you know, you're here. And then you have the Law of Dharma, which says transform your pain into your purpose. This card actually talks about, it says that each person has a special gift, purpose, or message to bring to the world. So again, this kind of goes along with this like scribe, like teacher vibe. And then, you know, I even picked this up a little bit as like, you know, somebody being a teacher, you know, while communicating with elementals, angels, guides, ancestors, while they're helping other people, like either share a message or a technique or something that they've learned, you know, in their life up till now. Like I said, even before they actually learn the other stuff they want to learn. So we also have first chakra, Archangel Michael. So we have our base chakra on the table. So basically like our stability, our you know, I consider like strength. I mean, that also comes from our third chakra, but I consider that when we feel like we have a strong foundation, we're secure, like I feel like we feel stronger. So that's what I'm picking up in this particular reading. And then we have our caring connections. So usually what we're moving towards, we might already have this. There's nothing in this reading to indicate that you don't have, you know, caring people around you already. A lot of times we're moving towards that because most of the time we're getting out of stuff in the readings that doesn't really come with caring people, and I always have to remind people that you're moving towards caring people. I believe that you already have that in this particular situation, Pisces, at least enough. Like even if it's just that one good friend, you have that support. And then we have yin yang. So this is one of the ones that I saw too that fell out. So balance. Again, like when it's talking about moving forward and doing stuff every day, you know, the act of the repetition of getting into the habit of doing these things, you know, it makes me actually think about like protection. You know, if you protect yourself once, you're a little less protected than if you protect yourself every day. Like this is kind of like what this card is talking about. And then that's kind of like what this card is talking about. Like if you want to have more like continuity and, you know, just, you know, things to just be more even, that it's a daily practice kind of thing. And then we have strategy, which is kind of like what we're talking about, like planning how we're going to live this so that we can have an easier time doing it. Not everybody thinks that's a big deal. Some people just like the idea of it, do it right away. Some people have to have like kind of like a turbulent, what I would call like a spiritual awakening. I mean, it's almost kind of like what this is, to kind of see that they do want some kind of peace and then do the work to do that. But sometimes, like I said, you kind of have to see see it. Again, I feel like this is coming up as something that's unseen and intuition. So we'll figure out what that's about when we pull Alice. But definitely wanting to move in a direction, or knowing that a direction needs to be moved in, knowing that there's a purpose there, but the purpose you haven't like walked towards the purpose yet, because there's something that's making you feel like you're not ready. Maybe you just need a plan. Sometimes when people get like to the point where they're motivated enough to do something, they like actually plan the steps. Maybe it's just as simple as that. Let's see what else we've got here. I'm getting the notion that the reason why it might be a little bit slow to move forward is because of something that might have happened in the past. It doesn't have to be related to this situation. It can be related to your stability to the point where you don't feel like you deserve to move forward or are ready to move forward type of thing. If we could get some more cards from Alice, we could elaborate on that just a little bit. Oh, right on the floor. Oh, okay. No. Okay, Pisces, I want 2 more cards. Yes. Okay, I want 1 more card. 1 more, please. All right, I'm going to go through it 1 more time. If not, I'm pulling 2. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay, we get it now. There's a few things going on here, Pisces. All right. First of all, so this is the one that came out first. So we have managed to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. So this is kind of like what I was getting with this, like, yin yang card kind of thing. Like you know, you're trying to move towards something. It didn't really show me what you were coming from, except now this managed to be glad. Like, she's holding a skunk. So now it's kind of telling me like where you're coming from. It doesn't have to be extremely terrible. It could just be not as good as what you're moving towards in any capacity, at any strength or level. So, but this underlying energy is still, this Lightworker energy is really loud, but also the idea of the desire to evolve, even if you're not thinking of it in terms of evolving, but more of like learning things or like moving forward kind of thing, getting more in depth into things. That's what we're talking about here, right? But then we have shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this. So this is kind of like when things are ending, right? You kind of have to like carry your own light, like carry your own torch until you get to the point where you see other people that have light. These people aren't on the table yet, except for carrying connections. So at some point you were either alone in the dark with this, or, you know, it was a little while before someone did come with a lantern kind of thing. But this is still you trying to be light in the dark, because you already know that being anything else doesn't work, you know, doesn't help. Plus on top of that, the goddess of the moon, she's got this giant, like, full lit moon, you know, basically illuminating everything. So, you know, I think that card is kind of telling you that there was always light. You just have to see it kind of thing. And that's what the managed to be glad is trying to tell you. And then we have painting the roses red. So this is covering up errors. So this is like my perpetuating other people's mistakes card. So this could be like you carrying on a belief that somebody else had that's either no longer around, or maybe they're around, but the belief is like it's wrong. And so you're carrying this, like, almost like this torch, this word I used again, for this idea that is not correct, and you're perpetuating someone else's mistake. So again, a whole other distraction, even when you are out of something, to keep you from kind of moving forward in the direction that you're supposed to be moving. But then on top of that, we have clock time, pressure, and a rush. So this is divine timing. Okay, this is one of my divine timing cards, but this is the hurry up divine timing card. I think you do need a strategy, Pisces, as far as how you want to move forward with this thing, because you have other stuff going on that is, well, I was going to use the word manipulating a situation, then I was going to use the word controlling the situation, and then there was some other word that popped up, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, manipulation, like that's the best way that I can put it, kind of thing. And then you still have this card that we're working towards, that we're getting back to work. We're either finding our teacher or we're becoming the teacher. We're working with these elementals on clock time. And then we have this like purpose or message or gift that we need to bring to the world. This is not just going inward. This is what we're displaying outward as well. Why did I grab the energy cards? What a trip. I meant to grab the moon cards. What is this? The door to personal healing and happiness. So you have to heal. You have to heal from this. If you're having problems shining, it's because you have to heal from something that's keeping you from shining. You might even be stuck to the past here. You might need to heal from this. And you might need to heal before you can even find that balance or that caring connections again. You need a strategy. And it could be the topic, you know, that you are supposed to help with other people with, could be like healing or happiness. A healer has been coming up a lot. You could be a healer and you might not know it. You might not know it yet. Might want to think about that and make a little bit of a plan, especially when we have like stuff to do in our lives. We can easily fill our days with like going to work and coming home and cleaning the house and taking care of kids and doing laundry and all this stuff. But the things that we want to do when we want to read a book or we want to do something else, we don't always give ourselves the time to do it. And this is telling you that it's time to give yourself the time to do it. It's time to grow, basically. That's interesting. What is that? Attend to the details. Last quarter moon in Virgo. So there might be a Virgo involved with you, Pisces. But it's like also kind of telling you to like look into things, like how it's talking about. It could be looking into the situation, or it could be looking into the situation that you want to look into. In other words, if you want to learn about something that you think might not be very easy, you can start looking into little bits and pieces of it, and just to see if it still resonates with you, if it's your thing. What'll probably happen is if it is your thing, you'll get so excited about it that it'll draw you in, and it won't seem like a big thing anymore. It'll be like something that you want to know everything about, kind of thing. And you know, it may even come natural to you. You might already have some kind of gift that you're bringing to this thing that you're looking into, that is basically making whatever you learn and however you implement it, especially towards others, better and better, kind of thing. This is full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. See, I feel like this is kind of like you doubting the fact that you can actually be a teacher. And I think that it's telling you that you have enough. It's kind of like when you take a class so many times that you could teach it. And for some people, sometimes that's just taking it once. There's no number, there's no clock time on how many times you have to go through something before you become an authority on it. I'm going to go through it one more time, and if I don't get any more cards, I'm going to pull one. Come on. You want me to pull it? I'll pull it. Okay. New moon in Libra. Know you are loved. This came out for someone else fairly recently. And it was literally like they had never been told. For you, I think you just really need to give yourself a little bit of support, to treat yourself in a loving way, especially if you kind of look into the details of a situation that you're trying to like heal from, and you realize that it's more upsetting than you thought, to know that you are loved. And you have like balance and balance on the table. You have, you know, caring connections coming if you don't have them already. And then you still have this like I was going to say desire to lead others in whatever way that is passionate for you. So we have Lightworker, we have the Light of the World, I think it's called. Yeah, the Light of the World from the Akashic deck. And then we have Shine Bright Like a Candle. So I feel like that's the reinforcing of Lightworker twice, possibly Psychic with the Goddess of the Moon on the table. And then these cards here, like with this, like this Light of the World card, it already does talk about like being special already by itself. So there could be other things. I don't see empath on the table, but there could be empath. There could be many other gifts that we haven't mentioned here today, just simply because that's what we're starting with. It's telling us that yes, you have all this stuff, but you also need to expand your consciousness to realize that we're all, you know, I was going to say sharing the same brain, but, you know, also that, you know, basically the oneness of things, and that it's time to go deeper, attend to the details. It's time to take a better trip and discover like what love really is, to like truly see things for what they are. Take another step up, right? We're not done growing yet. So, Pisces, I want to pull the blind spot. I want to see what might be keeping us from doing this. I do see a little bit of like resistance on the table with this painting the roses red. And sometimes when a card like this yin yang comes out, it kind of tells me that there's something that we're fighting to gain our balance. And sometimes that comes out in the extended. Also remember that you do have this door to personal healing and happiness. So even if this isn't something that you're supposed to teach, it might be something that you're supposed to do. And then you're on hurry up divine timing. So for some reason, the clock is ticking. It might be because you're just past ready. It could be because if you're here to help others, that others need you now. You know, your intuition could probably tell you, if you know you've been sitting around too long. I kind of got that energy from this card. That you kind of know. You already know. You've known. You've just been busy. So, Pisces, if this is your reading, meet us over at the extended. Link will be in the description. We're going to pull the blind spot. And if not, until we meet again,